everybody. I wanted to share some of my experiences with See It, Learn It, Code It. So I'm Ann Gentle, and I am a developer experience manager here at DevNet, where I work on all of the content, including Learning Labs, that goes on developer.cisco.com, as well as we have a team of developer support engineers. So I basically try to learn things quickly, but sometimes we'll make mistakes, but we'll keep learning. So I wanted to walk through one of my recent journeys to automate some of our publishing processes. So for Learning Labs at DevNet, we write in Markdown and store it in GitHub. And so a lot of the system is built for our developer advocates. So Shweta works on a learning lab, puts it into GitHub, and keeps writing and revising. Once it's ready, she creates a release in GitHub and then has to go to basically another web UI, click a bunch of buttons, and that pushes it to staging so that she can preview it. Well, if you're really working hard on a lot of drafts, that gets to be a lot of clicks. And you can imagine from my perspective, where we're working on hundreds of learning labs, our wrists get pretty tired doing all these publishing. So, great opportunity for automation, a repetitive task that's kind of dull. How do we do it? So, turns out Anjali in our DevNet platform team could provide us with a webhook. And the webhook is a way to publish to the staging server for learning labs. So we got to automate all of those button clicks by having the webhook at release push directly to staging. Hundreds of times, anytime that a repo was given a release. Well, okay, great, Anne, but now you have 100 repos that need all of these webhooks added. Enter the GitHub API. So it turns out that with the GitHub REST API, you can use their API to automatically push a bunch of webhooks configured the way you want them to be. So you refer to the documentation, of course. API documentation is my favorite. And it turns out that there is a way to post the configuration that you want to put it into the repository settings. This is just a snippet of the code, and it basically shows how to use the Python requests library to send a payload that then gives the repo, hey, I want these settings and I want a new webhook. This was one of my, I'm not a great Python programmer, so a lot of this was really new to me. I had to figure out how to make a file that listed the hundreds of repos that we had. I had to figure out exactly how to send that payload and how to hide some of the credentials that I need in order to make this happen. I have to have certain privileges. So that was where a lot of learning came in, a lot of mistakes, but I eventually got it running and it's available now if you guys want to try it. So here's a demo of it running, where basically I'm going to show you what's in the directory, a couple of Python scripts, and a quick show of where it is on GitHub. Now, imagine, if you will, this data file has hundreds of repositories in it. Well, this thing just ran super quickly. It almost ran faster than the time it took me to type in the Python command. And lo and behold, in each of those hundreds of repositories, we now have a new webhook. So it sends the post to the staging server, and it's only triggered on release. So now our friendly dev advocates can write more and click less, and it's automatically pushed to the staging server. This is a huge time saver to us, and I'd be happy to share more about my journey of how I got from hundreds of repositories to hundreds of webhooks.